the presumption of marriage. I think this is an interesting case because a lot of Kenyans do what we call come we stay marriages. People even used to call it marriage by affidavit. So when you're asked at work, are you married? You swear an affidavit and then you say, I'm married. But it's interesting now today because, you know, in the days when presumption of marriage was recognized, in the case of Hortensia Wanjiko, that's a 1976 case that first recognized presumption of marriage. At that time, it was presumed that people who live together for a long time should be presumed to be married so that one party is not unfairly deprived of the rights and benefits that they should gain in marriage. But today, there is another come we stay. There is a come we stay of, we are staying together but we don't want to be married. These young people here. So they don't want to be married, and they are very clear they do not want to be married. They don't want those rights and obligations and duties of a marriage, which would be under marriage law, but they want to live together. So that is different. But you know, they'll be shocked. One of them can take the other to the court, and then the court says, you are married. We are presuming you are married. So we found ourselves in this situation where, let me read the... So in this case, the gentleman, and it was a very interesting case for this one for us because it's the gentleman who came to court and not the lady. Normally ladies come to court first because of the way, for the longest time, the laws have been skewed. So the gentleman comes to the High Court under the Married Women's Property Act. And he says he wants a division of matrimonial property. There was a big building, a 4-story building in Dagoretti in Redruta. He says that he bought this property and built it with the lady, and that he wants matrimonial property. The lady comes to the High Court and says, you know this guy? No, he's not my husband. Me, I was married to another guy, actually. And although I'm separated from him, I'm still married to the other guy. So how can I be married to this guy? And the High Court says, yes, actually, you cannot, as a woman, you cannot contract another marriage when your other one is subsisting. So he says, no, sorry, I don't think he was a young man, but sorry, gentlemen, you're not married to her, so you cannot claim matrimonial property. It went to the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal then made an interesting finding and said, no, even though she was married before, we don't know where that husband went. So you are married to this guy. And therefore, 50% of this property is his. I'm using just language that can be understood, not legal language. I don't want to read it as in legal language. Just so that you can understand the story as it goes. And then, so she came to us. And again, we were like, in the Supreme Court, we don't take all cases. What is the matter of general public importance that we need to determine here? And we said we need to determine the issue of presumption of marriage. When can you be presumed to be married, and when are you not married? And in the end, we found that there was no marriage between the two of them, because she was married before and she had no capacity to marry. However, we then now said, what do you do with people who stay together and are not married but have contributed to a property together? We've then said that now the relationship becomes one of trust, and therefore we can divide that property. And now looking at their different contributions, we were able to say she can have 70 and he can have 30 based on what they had contributed.